Evening, ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel and the final video of this series. It seems like it's lasted a lifetime, this series. So today we are going to be looking at what I think is the weakest tier 10 tank in the game. Now, to be honest, I struggled with this one. I started playing one tank because, you know, I thought straight away, okay, this is the weakest tank. And so I started playing it. I thought, you know what, I don't think it is. I mean, it's weaker than a lot of tanks, but I don't think it's the actual weakest. And that I was playing the 30B. Straight away I thought, you know, the 30B doesn't quite have the DPM that other tanks has got, other medium tanks has got, but looking through, I could have also added things like the E4, but I didn't add the E4 because it's got a nice gun. It's got a beautiful gun, and it's a tank destroyer that doesn't really play like a tank destroyer. It's a heavy, and it is quite a strong tank. If you can hide that hatch, it is quite a strong tank. So it was a difficult choice, but in the end, I went for the Object 260. Now, I like this tank, and the thing with tier 10, unlike tier 9, there isn't that many weak tanks. There isn't that many. Most tier 10s are actually pretty decent or half good. There's no bad tier 10, and that's my opinion. There's no bad tier 10, but there has to be the weakest. There has to be a weakest. So I've gone for the Object 260, mainly because the armor profile, really, it's a tank that I do like. I actually really like this, but looking at all the other tanks in tier 10, I just think that this is possibly one of the weakest. Some other people might say even things like the AMX M454 or even the 5A now, but I just think that overall the 260 is one of the weakest tanks. Of course, there are some there's some tank destroyers. I mean, the Badger would have definitely been there if it didn't have the buff. You can also add the Object 263, but with the Object 263, the armor profile is great. The armor profile is fantastic. It's got good speed, it's got good penetration, it's got good DPM, so I couldn't really add that. Some people might even say the Grill or even the Death Star. The Death Star obviously is one of the most underperforming tanks in the game, but it's still strong because of the gun. It's still amazingly strong. And some people might even add the WZ113 GFT, but no, I love this tank. The armor profile is great, the gun is great, and I just don't think it is the weakest tank. Some people in the comments for my tier 9 video actually said the Vickers Light. I don't think the Vickers Light is weak at all. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So I went for the Object 260, and if I can go and find it, mainly because of the armor profile, but it does have a nice turret. The turret's not too bad. Let's just have a look at the stats. So 2,300 hit points, and you can see there the turret armor 265 millimeters, which you can get some bounces. You can get some good bounces on this tank if you're in the right position. So the hull is only 110 millimeters. Now, everything pretty much can penetrate your hull, anything at all. The DPM 2,783. That is a 9-second reload. The penetration 273 on your APCR and 343 on your heat. That is me running calibrated shells as well. So the DPM, you can get a little bit more if you run it with the rammer, but I run it with the calibrated shells just to up that penetration. So the aim time isn't bad at either at 3.3, and neither is the gun dispersion at 0.317, and it does only have 6 degrees of gun depression, but the speed is actually pretty good at 50 kilometers per hour. Excuse me. So we had a couple of games, and as I've said, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. What game? So let's just have a look at the Falls Creek, because I think this game I didn't do too bad. So you can perform really well in the tank, and again, as I've said, just because I've added this as the weakest tier 10, it doesn't actually mean it's weak. Like, it doesn't mean it's poor or weak. I just had to choose a tank, and in my personal opinion, there isn't that many weak tier 10s. If you want to add the 30B instead of this, or even maybe the 121B, then yeah, that is your choice. But I just think with the 121B, 3,500 DPM, the DPM's great. It's got a fantastic turret. The 30B has fantastic aim time and accuracy. It's pretty good. It's got the high alpha shot. It's got speed. The DPM isn't as good as the other mediums, but I think put an Object 260 next to a 30B, the 30B will wipe it. Literally, I know it's a different tank class, but overall, I just think the 260 is definitely the weakest. It is definitely the weakest, and if you overextend, excuse me, if you overextend yourself, you really are not going to get any bounces. If you hold down and you're only showing your turret, then of course you are going to get some bounces. So far this game, we've only done 800 damage. We haven't bounced a single shot at the moment, and we are 2 tanks down. And now me taking out that bat chat, it is level and it is 5 versus 5. But the enemy do have base C. Now my guys are pretty much all around here, and I'm just waiting. I'm going to be very patient, and that's something I'm not usually that I don't usually do. I don't normally be very patient, but I thought, you know what, I'm in the position that I can actually deal a lot of damage. I've got a lot of tanks around me, and I just needed to be very, very patient. And the Conqueror here, he's in a bad position, and but with my guys going around by the left, I can actually take this guy and do some damage to this guy. And I've got the rock for a bit of cover as well, so when I am on a reload, I can just cover and then go come back out and get the shot in as we are doing. So 2,700 damage at the moment. We've only bounced, well, you can see 2 shots there from the Conqueror, but that is me putting myself in a position where I am able to get the bounces. So we can't quite get the shot on the Object 268 here. Now it is a 4 versus 4, so I don't want to lose any more hit points at the moment, because this is easily losable. We can easily lose this game. So the Object 260 there. Now, I'm being very stupid here, coming out sideways for what? Why did I do that? I don't know. But things like the IS-7, because this does play like an IS-7. IS-7 may have even bounced that shot, and the thing with the IS-7 is the side armor is very, very troll, and it's annoying. And you can see we do get that lucky bounce there. So we still have bounced 1,400 damage, and we've lost some hit points as well. And now, luckily for us, this Object 268 hasn't put himself in a great position. He's decided to just rush forward whilst it's a 4 versus 2, and because I do have that DPM, I have managed to sort of just take him out, and we do get that bounce at the we do get shot at the end. So we've done 4,400 damage. We have bounced 1,400 damage, and there is just this 1 tank left alive. So I mean, it's a nice tank. It is a nice tank. I don't mind playing this tank at all. I really don't. I just think with all the other tanks in tier 10, tier 10 is definitely, in my opinion, the strongest tier. There isn't that many weak tanks at all, and to be honest, I don't think there is any weak tanks in tier 10. They are strong. They are all strong in their own way, but I just think that the Object 260 lacks other things that other tanks has got, like the IS-7, the IS-4, and the IS-4's got frontal armor, the IS-7's got armor everywhere, and this is very, very easy to pen frontally, and that's pretty much the only reason that I could go for this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think the weakest tier 10 tank is? I know some people might even say things like the Grill, the Jaegeru, the Death Star, the 30B, the 121B. There's loads of tanks that people can choose, but these are all good tanks. These are all good tanks, but for me, this is the weakest. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With